flowing through your feet.
In the car with the convo, keeping it true. Talking life, talking dreams, bringing insight to you. From the front seat visions to the backseat laughs, we ride through the culture, no brakes, all gas. The car conversations, keep your mind racing. Big heart talk with a bold foundation. Queen, they got the crown. Clay Day got the drive. Together they start what keeps your soul alive. So buckle up, let's cruise the lane where the vibes are deep and the talk ain't plain. It's the show that you needed today. With Queen Day and Clay D, press play.
Kid, I'm so proud of you. You got a real chance here.
No, Mom.
Talk about taking care of your family. That's how you can really make a difference. You're a student athlete, and the student part comes first, but the athlete part is what's paying for your tuition.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing just fine. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
For sure, for sure. So we're gonna get right on to it and all and such. So, but thank you, Devyn, again, and thank you so much for joining us here. Congratulations on your short film, Coach's Office, being screened at Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival. So congrats to you again on that. Just for some information here, this is my podcast show. It's called Car Conversations. I also do produce a couple other podcasts called Police Court Conversations and Clay's Counsel. But for Martha's Vineyard, which I am credentialed media officially, I am conducting Zoom interviews ahead of time, as well as doing a mix of some on the island itself. But since it might be some issues interfacing on the island with some folks, I am going to take this opportunity to do some of the short films ahead of time on Zoom. So yeah, thank you again for being here, and we're thrilled to spotlight your work.
Nice, yeah, thank you for having me. How long have you been doing media for the festival?
This is my second year.
Cool.
Yep, I did it last year as well. So this is my second time going to the film festival. Is this your first time going to Martha's Vineyard Film Festival itself?
Yes, yeah.
Have you ever been there before at all, even before this?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've been to Martha's Vineyard and I've never been to the festival, so I'm super excited to kind of, experience both.
That's good. And you're based in Florida now?
Yep, so I'm from South Florida, went to school in LA. I'm here right now for the summer, but then I'll be moving to Atlanta in August. Literally right after Martha's Vineyard, I fly straight to Atlanta and I'll move in there.
Yeah, so I'll get right on into it. Your background is incredibly rich, merging sports media with film. For those who don't know, how did a high school football game lead you to pick up a camera and basically never look back?
Yeah, so as a kid, when I was young, I used to always make little iMovie trailers and GoPro video edits and Video Star music videos and stuff, just kind of playing around with the little iPad and the little tools that I had. But, as I started to get older, I started to have to focus more on school and other extracurricular activities and stuff. But my junior year of high school, I was part of this Florida High School Athletic Association Advisory Committee, like the student advisory committee, and they told us to make a video showcasing our school spirit. And I was like, that's easy enough. I remember how to edit from when I was a kid and stuff like that. So I checked out a camera from one of our schools, like our media center, and I recorded our homecoming football game, and I put it together, and I was like, oh, this is fun, like with some music in the background. I posted it, everyone loved it, and I was just like, I want to do this again. And so I did it again, and then I eventually begged my parents to loan me money to buy a camera. I did end up paying them back, but I, like, literally 3 weeks after, I was kind of like, I just really want to continue to do this. It just kind of really ignited a passion and a fire within me. So, and I just kept going and never stopped.
That's great. So you're journey.
I, like, literally 3 weeks after, I was kind of like, I just really want to continue to do this. It just kind of really ignited a passion and a fire within me. So, and I just kept going and never stopped.
That's great. So you're journey has taken you from the basketball court to ESPN. How has your experience as a multimedia journalist and producer now shaped your approach to filmmaking?
Yeah, well, I definitely think it goes hand in hand. So when I first started, I started in more documentary work because being in South Florida, I didn't really know any actors. I wasn't taught the techniques of filmmaking. I didn't really know how to write a script and stuff. I kind of but I knew how to piece together a story that was in front of me. I knew how to kind of like find the story within real life. And so that's what I did. I did, a lot of documentary, and then that's the documentary that led me to USC and got me into USC. And then at USC, that's when I started to learn traditional narrative structure and traditional filmmaking techniques and things like that. But I'd never let go of that kind of like journalistic nature that I always had. I feel like it really goes hand in hand. Being a journalist is about being curious and exploring that curiosity that you have within anything in the world. And I think the more you're able to kind of like be open and learn about different things, you can apply that to filmmaking, because it's all about, showcasing different perspectives of different people. So I take those same skills of like asking questions and being curious and kind of like, what can I learn from you, and listening. I feel like listening is a huge part of it as well. So that's kind of how I, blended the two together, and I want to continue to evolve in both aspects, and I think they really go hand in hand too.
Do you find yourself with that wearing many different hats on set because of it?
Yes, for sure. And I wore many hats throughout college as well. So in addition to my filmmaking curriculum, where I was like a writer, producer, cinematographer, and I learned how to do all of that. I also worked for USC Athletics, and I was a like multimedia kind of producer for them as well. So I traveled with the women's volleyball team. I was their lead producer. So I would make like mixtapes and hype videos and stuff like that for them, and little edits and things like that. And then I also worked with the Big Ten Network. So I got to do some in front of the camera. I did like our sports scene, like our local sports news show, where you kind of sit on the desk. I was an anchor. So I did a lot of different things, and I think I was able to leave USC as a very well-rounded individual with a lot of tools in my tool belt that really kind of is going to prepare me for the next step.
Let's talk more about Coach's Film, the film. So your short film Coach's Office explores a young football player's unease in a top Division I program. So what inspired this specific? Was it drawn from personal observation and untold narrative you felt compelled to share, or perhaps maybe a multitude of experiences of student athletes you worked with?
Yeah, it was inspired by a multitude of different kind of things. Growing up in South Florida, football is always like, it's a big part of our culture. Always like Saturday in season, Sunday nights, like it's always reserved for football. I have a huge football family. My dad played football. My cousins played football. So it's just always been a part of like my life, I would say. And then, as I started to get older and I started to have these conversations with different athletes working within USC athletics, I started to notice patterns between different, not just football, but all the different sports. Like I said, I worked with volleyball, I worked with basketball. And then, the friends that I had that were student athletes, just having conversations with them. And then I read this book too that was called 15 and that really gave me like a kind of historic perspective on just the world of athletics and sports in general, and kind of how there's a little bit of a power imbalance between owners and players, and the overall history of the landscape of the sport. So that really gave me a lot of like a solid foundation to kind of build off of. And and then I just kind of sat down and wrote it. And some of the experiences, were real things that happened to like people that I knew. So I pulled this, from real experiences.
The film description mentions coach's office was inspired by your time working with student athletes. Can you elaborate on the nuances or unspoken pressures of that world that you want to bring forth to light through this story?
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that happen, and it's not just within, the relationships with like coaches or people of power. That's why I really wanted to include that scene, that beginning scene with the mom, because there's even a lot of pressure from right within the home on children to, sort of make it out and turn around and help out once they've made it. And it may be, stemming from a place of love and stemming from a place of, wanting to push your child or your significant other or your cousin or your friend to be the best version of themselves. But when you kind of set up that thought in their head going into other, when they're faced with other challenges, it turns into sort of a pressure that they might even not know that they're adding on to their loved one. So I really wanted to include that the mom. And then, then the second scene is, interacting with the coach, and that is very typical what you would expect, like a coach to kind of be a sort of fatherly figure and wanting to seem like they might have your best interests at heart, but maybe you're really the only one who can discern what is good for you and what is not. And so, and then also, at the same time, football players, they're looked at as almost like superheroes or gladiators. You put on the helmet, you put on the pads, and you go out there, and everyone loves you around campus. You bring the school lots of money. You're like a little celebrity. So there's also glitz and glam and stuff that comes with it. So I just really wanted to showcase the nuances. I didn't necessarily want to just push one specific narrative, like, college athletics is bad. Like, I did not want to do that at all. I really wanted to just kind of show the complexity within the system and within the experiences that these kids go through.
This film has a runtime of about 10 minutes, which is quite concise. What were the biggest hurdles and opportunities on the other end in telling such a potentially complex story within that short time frame? And how did you ensure the emotional impact that it landed effectively and all?
Yeah. Oh, it was a journey for sure. So this short film actually started out as a class project. So I just did it was like a 5-minute class project that I did with my classmates. And then one of my classmates who runs this student organization called the Black Art Collective at USC. She saw it and she was like, "Oh, I would love for us to do this on a larger scale for our organizations, like for a short film as an organization." And I was like, "That's awesome. I'd love to. Let's do it." And so, we added on a lot more. So the first one was just a crew of like 3 people. But then we added on a bunch of more crew. We got like 20 people. We got a sponsorship from Sony, so they lent us a Venice camera, which was really cool. I went back and revised the script. I added an extra scene. I got some more eyes and some more critiques on it and stuff. And then we were like, okay, let's do it. Let's go. So we shot it all in one weekend, in 2 days. And it was definitely a learning experience for me, I would say, as a first-time director. That was my first time probably directing on a set with that many people. So there were definitely some challenges, but I think all in all, I definitely, got the performances that I want out of my actors. The lead actor, the guy, now he's actually a football player at USC, and he's never acted a day in his life. I met him one time, and I thought he just had this sort of like kind of presence and aura about himself that I felt like he would really. And I approached him with the idea after the fact, and he was totally down. So I was like, cool. And we really worked together and kind of found our groove, and I was able to get him to listen, and he delivered a really great performance, I think. And so that was really cool, shooting it. And then editing was probably where we had our most challenges in terms of just like production. But we got through it, and the film is complete. And I think 10 minutes was our goal, and it was a good feasible project for us to do as USC students.
That's good. Hey, we're all naturally actors, especially over at USC, given that you're in proximity. You're on site at the second largest media capital or media market in the country. So that comes with that. But Coach's office, from what I observed, also notably created space for Black creatives to take on their first on-set roles, as you just alluded to. That is a powerful commitment. Can you expand a little about that intentional decision, if there was one, if you could expound upon that again, and the impact it had on the production, on the film itself?
Yes, for sure. Yes. So, like I said, the Black Art Collective, which was the organization that, approached me and said they wanted to take this further, their whole goal and mission is to, sort of cultivate the arts within the Black arts within USC. They host like theater productions, short films, music videos, things of that nature, which is like even more of a selling point for me to want to do it with them. Yeah, so it was the chance for even me, a lot of, other Black students at USC to get their first on-set experience, especially when you're not in the film school. It's harder to kind of, get those sort of opportunities. So I was so thankful and glad that we were able to, create that space for other, Black students at USC. People got their first time, working with this huge Sony Venice camera. We had a couple of different ACs helping pull focus, and we had, people doing script coverage and just all the sort of traditional things you would have on set that we were able to kind of teach people as well. So it was very much a learning moment for everyone, which was great. And I think it really added to the film because you could tell everyone just showed up and wanted to do their best, and everyone was just having great energy, and we didn't have any sort of huge hiccups. And if the problems that did arise, it was like, okay, how are we going to solve this, get through it together? Everyone was just positive and contribute their best. There were no egos or, big heads that were kind of getting in the way, which I think just made for an overall great experience for everyone, and it made a great film.
What advice do you have for other emerging filmmakers looking to create similar opportunities?
Yeah, similar opportunities for other,
Yeah, like what you did with this film project specifically, and
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole network out there of people who want to work, who want opportunities. And so I would really say just, find them and connect, utilize social media. Social media is such a huge tool. I just posted about the festival and I already got so much love, so many people telling me congratulations and stuff from a TikTok that I posted. So that's been amazing. So I would definitely say utilize your resources. And then the thing I always say too is like, just do it. Nike did their big one with that slogan, like just do it is always kind of like been my sort of thing. I think a lot of the times as creatives, we kind of maybe get stuck in our head and hold ourselves back and think like, oh, it needs to be perfect or this and that needs to happen before I can take these steps. But you really just need to do it because you learn so much within the process, like the process from start to finish. You learn so much. So I would say, just do it and finish, start the project and finish it. Don't just leave it and give up and throw your hands up. So those would be my pieces of advice.
Without giving too much away, what do you hope audiences will walk away feeling or thinking after watching Coach's Office at NVAAFF? Are there any specific conversations you hope it sparks?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I want people to walk away wanting more. I think I want people to walk away being like, wow, I wonder what's next for this. I wonder what's next for our protagonist. Like, I wonder what's next for him. What is he going to do? What decisions is he going to make in the future? I really want people to kind of leave with a sort of curiosity that I approached the project with and kind of like, I wonder how that coach is going to treat him or what decisions is he going to make with this program or how is he going to, handle the situation with his mother? Is he going to make it to the league? Those sort of, same questions that I had entering. I want people to leave with those. And then I think I also want people to leave with maybe a newfound respect of student athletes and the pressures and the trials and tribulations that they have to go through.
Talking now about the broader impact in the future, you're passionate about, it seems, about telling meaningful stories that spotlight athletes and communities often overlook. Beyond Coach's Office, what kind of stories are you looking to tell next, and what kind of themes are you more drawn to when it comes to exploring in your future work? If this is something that you look to continuing to do.
Yeah, I think my kind of mission statement has always been my goal with any project is to, challenge perspectives and show that we're all more alike than we think. Really you get someone to be able to relate to someone else's story. So I think a lot of my projects, I just want to showcase maybe perspectives that haven't been shown in the past or that are maybe misunderstood or misrepresented in media. And, I know that that's very, very broad. I think I also want to keep it focused on Black stories and but I would love for a future project to be focused around like Black female friendship. I think that is a theme that I've really been exploring lately. I love coming of age stories. I love dramas. I love, things that are just really emotional that, I like to like make people cry. Like I like to cry when watching movies. So that's kind of like sometimes my goal with things. And then entertainment too, I think is a big thing. I, grew up making the like mixtapes and the hype videos and stuff. And I know it's flashy and I know it catches people's eyes and I want, my work to also do that. And people will be like, wow, that's cool. Or like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. And I think that was a big thing with Coach's Office. So I was able to get because I worked with USC Athletics, I was able to get the media rights for all of Devyn, who is the actor. He's also a football player. I was also to get the media rights of all of his like practice footage, his game footage, and all of that stuff. And I was able to incorporate that within the film, which I think just adds to that like wow factor and that believability the film. So that was something really cool, and that's something that I want to continue to incorporate in my future work.
Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival, NVAAFF, is such a significant platform, especially for Black filmmakers. What does having your film screen there mean to you, and what kind of connections or opportunities are you hoping to cultivate at the festival?
Oh, it means everything, and especially because, I've gotten rejected from so many other film festivals. It can be very, disheartening, but once I got the acceptance letter for this one, I was like, it's all worth it. Everything was all worth it. Like, I don't care if I never get into another one, because this was the one that I really wanted to attend, just because of its, prestige, and I watched Forever for the first time. I don't know if you saw the new
Yeah.
and then so seeing them all at Martha's Vineyard Forever just got me even more excited. I was like, yes, I'm ready for my Martha's Vineyard summer. Like, I think, just the significance of the island itself. And I've always seen people at August time and the white parties and, just representing Black excellence. And I'm so honored to be able to be a part of that community and to be able to attend this year. And as far as when I do attend the festival, I am really looking forward to connecting with other Black creatives, other people in the space. I want to continue to work in filmmaking. I want to continue to be a producer, writer, director. So I'm hoping to also connect with people who are maybe looking for, additional help on projects, as well as, sort of pitching myself to people as well. So I'm really looking forward to just connecting with everyone who is there in all sort of different spaces. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Just curious, did you have to submit your project to ABFF?
I did.
Yeah.
And it did not get in.
You gotta say more. Anywho, you stated that you are captivated by film's ability to evoke emotion, as you hinted at earlier, within the audience, and you're passionate about sharing stories. And that through your work, you're hoping to create connections between cultures to show that we are more alike than we think. So how do you actively pursue this goal in your storytelling? What role do you see Black filmmakers playing in fostering those connections? If you could just expand deeper into that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's sort of like a mission statement that I also want to live by. And so I kind of approach each day, each interaction with a stranger, very open-mindedly. I feel like I'm a person that kind of like, anyone can talk to. I have conversations with strangers all the time. I love, getting to know. Like to play a game with myself sometimes. I'll be like, how many questions can I ask this person before they ask a question about me? And you'll be very surprised. Sometimes you can get someone's whole life story. So I think, in that way. I also love to travel as well. So I've been to a couple of different countries now and just experiencing different things. I'm a very, open-minded, kind of laid-back person. And I think that really helps translate in my storytelling, because I'm able to kind of, understand different people and somehow relate it to my own experiences. And I think that will really aid in kind of like how I'm able to share different stories. Yeah, I think that answered your question. I don't know if there's any other part you want me to elaborate on.
Yeah, you're good. This is my final question. For aspiring filmmakers and content creators, particularly those from underrepresented backgrounds, what is one piece of advice you'd offer based on your journey from picking up a camera first in 2019 to now having a film at Martha's Vineyard African American Film Festival?
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat it one more time?
Absolutely. So for aspiring filmmakers and content creators, particularly those from underrepresented backgrounds, what is one piece of advice you'd offer based on your journey from picking up a camera first in 2019 to now having a film showcased at Martha's Vineyard?
Yeah, I want to offer a new piece of advice, but it's really like the just do it thing. And it's like, you have to see a project through. Like, you have to finish. It can feel so daunting, and there will be so many times when you want to just kind of like throw in the towel, but you have to remember why you're doing it. As I would always say too, make sure you have a strong kind of like mission statement, strong core values with any project that you're approaching, like especially for coaches off the side. pounded in on my director's statement. And I remember when I presented it in class, my professor was like, that's one of the best director statements I've ever seen, because it was so fleshed out, because I really wanted to make sure, like, why am I doing this project? Why am I doing this project? You really have to sit down and ask yourself why. And then once you know why, finish, like, see it through. I think so many times people get scared of just, like, you know, what's gonna happen or what people's gonna say. So I'd say finish, and post it and share it. I would say like sharing stories is nothing without an audience to consume them. And so you have to share your work. Like, don't be scared. Don't try to compare yourself to the next person. We all have our own individual and unique voices that deserve to be heard. And nowadays with social media, it's like you already have the platform built in. Like, you don't have to wait for a distributor to come and want to pick up and showcase your film. If Netflix, if HBO doesn't call, post it to YouTube yourself, you know? Like, there's just so many resources and tools right at your own disposal. You really just have to take advantage of them.